Welcome to Universe Live. I'm Trevor Myers.
And I'm Joel Layton. It's Thursday, March 9th, 2023.
Russia unleashes a barrage of weapons, including hypersonic missiles, in its broadest attack on Ukraine in weeks.
Overnight strikes have killed at least 11 people and power is knocked out in multiple regions.
The Farmington Police Department releases body cam footage of a deadly officer-involved shooting.
Step out of the car. Gun.
25-year-old Chase Allen was originally stopped by police because his car was not registered. When officers attempted to remove him from the car, they noticed he had a gun and the officers opened fire.
Orem police arrest a man at Orem Junior High on Wednesday. Police say the man entered the school with a knife. The school was put on lockdown, police arrived within 60 seconds, and the suspect was taken into custody.
The former leader of the Navajo Nation passed away on Tuesday. Peter Senza was the first president elected in the Navajo Nation and worked to rebuild the tribe. He will be buried on Saturday. He was 85.
Provo City's fire chief announces his retirement. Chief James Miguel will retire on May 11th. He has served in the Provo City Fire Department for 4 decades. Deputy Fire Chief Jeremy Hedman will act as interim fire chief.
More on the deadly shooting of Chase Allen. Body cam footage shows that he did not obey officers' requests.
We're going to have an issue.
The footage shows the 25-year-old arguing with the officer for more than 3 minutes about identification and certain state laws. He hands his passport over as a form of identification. After being handed the passport, officers asked Allen to exit the vehicle, but he refused.
Sir, step out of the vehicle right now.
I am not required to.
Step out of this vehicle right now.
Then we're going to have an issue where
Step out of the car right now. Don't step out of the car. We're going to break the window and pull you out. Step out of the car. Gun.
The footage shows officers opening the door to remove Allen from the vehicle. While that was happening, officers saw a gun in the car and one of them shouts, "Gun, gun, gun." The officers then moved away from the door and began shooting. Allen died at the scene.
Lori Daybell's defense attorneys are filing a motion to take the death penalty option off the table for her suspected involvement in the murders of her children. Vallo's attorneys say prosecutors haven't gone through all of the more than 80,000 documents in this case. This defense also says the prosecutors know about Vallo's mental illness. Vallo's next court appearance is set for court on April 1st.
Senator Mike Lee introduces a bill in the United States Senate designed to discourage immigrants from crossing the southern border. The Stopping Border Surges Act ensures children in holding facilities will only be released with a parent or legal guardian. Lee says this will decrease the incentive to bringing kids on the journey. The bill aims to close a loophole where non-parent migrants can claim unaccompanied minors as their own children in order to be released. Proponents of the bill have cited the increase in border crossing deaths as a need for immigration reform.
The Qualtrics X4 Summit is taking place at the Salt Palace Convention Center in Salt Lake City. The 3-day event has sold out for this year with more than 10,000 attendees. The summit features multiple speakers and a variety of breakout rooms with business professionals and entrepreneurs, all discussing how to be a better leader.
This Sunday will mark the 20-year anniversary of the return of Elizabeth Smart. Smart was kidnapped from her home in Salt Lake City in 2002 and was found 9 months later. Since her return, Smart has taken the time to work towards advocating for child safety, victims' rights, and survivors of sexual assault. Smart still thanks all the prayers, searches, support, and sacrifice she received.
A study by Consumer Reports finds there are harmful amounts of metals in Trader Joe's dark chocolate, along with other popular chocolate brands. Universe Live reporter Megan Brugger has more.
I'm here at the Trader Joe's in Orem, Utah, after the company came under fire for potentially unsafe levels of lead and other metals in their dark chocolate. Many beloved chocolate companies are being questioned for containing dangerous amounts of metals, as revealed by Tunde Ikinli in a study by the nonprofit organization Consumer Reports. Consumer Reports tested 28 chocolate bars, including popular companies like Trader Joe's, Lindt, and Dove, and found that every single one contained cadmium and lead, with 23 of them containing concerning amounts of those metals. Mackenzie Cloward, a Trader Joe's regular, was surprised at the outcomes of this study.
I think it would definitely deter me from buying it a little bit, just until things are kind of figured out more, like more information is sent out about what's going on.
Dark chocolate is considered a healthy treat for its nutritional value. According to the Food and Drug Administration, dark chocolate has on average 7.6 micrograms of cadmium and 0.8 micrograms of lead per 1 ounce serving, which is risky, especially for pregnant people and young children. These metals can cause developmental problems, affect brain development, and lead to a lower IQ, according to McKinley. Frequent exposure in adults can lead to nervous system problems, hypertension, immune system suppression, kidney damage, and reproductive issues, according to the New York City Health Department. These are valid concerns even for those who do not consume large amounts of dark chocolate every day. Trader Joe's customer Brock Ellison is disturbed by these findings, especially after consuming mass amounts himself.
So my friend gave me a pound of dark chocolate from Trader Joe's, and it was just a gift from him to me. And I pounded that in like a day or two. Didn't feel really good afterwards, especially after I found out that there might be lead in it.
And once he did find out, he was not happy.
That was kind of concerning to find that out.
It's important to be aware of just what you're consuming so you can make sure you stay as healthy as possible. Reporting for Universe Live in Orem, I'm Megan Bruger.
I'm going to be careful about the chocolate I eat. Thanks, Megan.
Officers with the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources capture a mountain lion in Mapleton. The female wildcat had been several times around town, appearing on doorbell cameras. Locals had been warned by the Mapleton Police Department to keep a distance. On Tuesday, the DWR tracked down the lion hiding in some brush. The 3-year-old cat was tranquilized and released in another part of the state.
This week, the U.S. National Amateur Dance Sport Championships are being held at the BYU Marriott Center. The competition began on Tuesday and goes through Saturday. Preteen, teen, and college-age dancers will be showing their skills in rumba, Viennese waltz, cha-cha, American swing, and other popular ballroom dances. Competition organizers estimate that nearly 15,000 spectators and 3,000 dancing couples will be in attendance. To see some of the best dancers from BYU and beyond, go to byutickets.evenue.net and look under upcoming events. This Saturday is the 28th annual Cougs vs. Cancer run in honor of former BYU President Rex E. Lee. Lee was an enthusiastic runner before he passed away from lymphoma cancer in 1995. All money raised from the event will go to the BYU Simmons Center for Cancer Research. The course circles most of the campus with a 1K Kids Fun Run and a 5K. Donation links and race registration forms can be found on cougsversuscancer.byu.edu.
The Special Olympics Championship basketball tournament took place in Orem yesterday. Utah's First Lady and the Utah Jazz hosted the second annual tournament. Unified Sports is an inclusive sports program that combines Special Olympics Utah athletes and partners without intellectual disabilities. Teammates are similar in age and ability and train and compete together. The goal of the program is to build friendships and decrease prejudice. The basketball tournament was held at Weber State University. You will most likely be getting one less hour of sleep this Sunday when daylight saving time begins. In exchange for the loss of sleep, you will get an extra hour of sunlight for the next several months. Clocks will move forward an hour this Sunday at 2 a.m. Most digital clocks, phones, and other devices will update automatically. But if you have other devices with clocks in your home or your car, you may need to manually change them. However, daylight saving time may soon be a thing of the past. Congress is looking at a bipartisan bill that would prevent the changing of clocks twice a year.
Refugees around the world come to the U.S. searching for a better life. We'll show you how some of those refugees are sharing their culture through fashion. We'll show you, at times life can be rough. We'll show you the impact service animals can help people and how a furry friend is helping a BYU student cope with her challenges.
BYU football is making some big changes as spring practice gets started.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe!
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
500 people gathered in Salt Lake City for a refugee fashion show and donation auction. Aubrey B. Jennings was there and tells us what the purpose of the event is.
The refugee crisis may seem far from home, but in Utah, it's not as far as you might think. Salt Lake-based nonprofit Women of the World held their 13th refugee fashion show this week. Models representing 20 different nations or cultures wore traditional clothing from their home countries. The models are affiliated with the organization, many of them refugees themselves, and others are their mentors.
Round of applause for Judith.
The event was sold out with 500 people overflowing the event center. But it has not always been that way. Organizers say the first refugee fashion show was held in 2010 with a crowd of under 50 people, most of them family members. The founder of the organization is a woman who moved to the U.S. from Iraq seeking better education.
When I came to America, I struggled.
She says she founded the organization to help people find the community she didn't have.
And when I thought, well, one day when I am done with my study and work, I really like to have women coming from a different country to stand up with them, to help them, to guide them, to show them the resources that they need.
And it appears her struggle to connect in this new world was not just her own.
It's not a happy story, but I think you just make the best of what you can with your circumstances.
Nora's one of the MCs for the fashion show. Her family moved from Palestine after they lost their family home.
The biggest thing that supports men and women is having a sense of community, having a sense of someone you can go to for those questions.
13 years later, women refugees in Salt Lake City have access to resources and mentoring through the nonprofit, part of which is funded through fundraising events, such as this one, where thousands of dollars were donated in a live auction.
Thank you for meeting everyone, and sold right there for $1,500. Congratulations, bidder number 2.
From honoring refugee cultures through fashion and food to donating to their education, this event brought Utahns and refugees together as part of one community. With tens of thousands of refugees living in Utah, the refugee crisis is not far at all. Reporting for Universe Live in Salt Lake City, I'm Aubrey B. Jennings.
Thanks, Aubrey.
In the United States, there are more than 500,000 service dogs. These dogs provide emotional support and can help detect medical conditions. Universe Live reporter Hassan El Sheikh found one of these animals. Hassan, who's your friend there?
Hey guys, I'm here with my new friend Cinder, and have you ever heard the saying, a dog is a man's best friend? Well, that's true for many. Some people rely on these animals to do what doctors can't. I spoke with Cinder's owner today to see why she means so much to her.
Meet Cinder, a 3-year-old standard poodle who's lovable, playful, and at times, a little bit naughty.
Cinder was playing and she had her butt up in the air and she farted and she looked behind herself at her butt and then looked at me and my roommate like we were the ones who had done it.
Despite Cinder's flaws, BYU sophomore Sophie Cranny wouldn't be here without her loyal companion.
I got in a really bad car accident when I was 17 years old. And during that car accident, I sustained a traumatic brain injury, which actually triggered a condition called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. We say POTS for short. And it's actually relatively common. It affects about 1 to 3 million people in the US.
POTS is a condition that reduces blood volume when someone stands up. It can cause fainting and heartbeat irregularities, something Cinder has been trained to detect, officially making her a service animal. Sophie tells me a lot of people have misconceptions about service animals. She started a TikTok account to share her story and educate others on why animals like Cinder are so important.
I've just been trying to use my platform to spread as much awareness as possible about service dogs, how best to handle them, what questions are appropriate to ask, which ones aren't.
So far, she has over 135,000 followers, impressing many, including her friends.
Her story and the things that she's gone through is so inspiring and makes me want to be more positive about life, makes me want to be more friendly and open to people. I don't know, it just makes me want to be a better person.
And now you can see why animals like Cinder mean so much to so many different people. Reporting for Universe Live in Provo, I'm Hassan Al-Sheikh.
Thanks, Hassan.
Spring football started this week, and D lineman Tyler Batty explained how this BYU defense will change going into the Big 12.
We're going to see more blitzes. We're going to see different looks that we haven't necessarily seen from a BYU defense in the past couple years. And
the plan for more blitzes and aggressive pass rush is great news for BYU. Getting to the quarterback was a struggle for this defense last year. The Cougars finished second to last in the FBS in sacks and third to last in tackles for a loss. More hits behind the line of scrimmage will certainly help BYU as the new kids on the Big 12 block. BYU baseball is in Omaha to start their 3-game stretch against Creighton. BYU comes into the series following back-to-back losses, but so does Creighton. This gives BYU a shot to play Wrecking Crew to steal Creighton's first game at home while getting their own season on track as they head into their final season of WCC play. You can catch all 3 games on BYU Radio with the first at 5 later today.
Thanks for joining us today for Universe Live.
Have a great day.